Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 8:44 on whatever night of the week it is. Mine is a bit fuzzy this weather. I don't know what day of the week it is. With a couple for tomorrow. I've more than two tomorrow. Yeah, we'll get to them. Not a bad day. That Balgowan ran first, drifted like a bird, ran better than the betting suggested. If he tried a little bit harder for anyone that backed him each way, he would have finished third. But I done an each way Trixie and an each way treble last night. Or no, this morning, because must be early this morning. But the paid, even though I paid fourth, there was two non-runners later in the day apparently. I just checked there now. It came up, the each way treble and the each way Trixie. And I've done all right, paid well. But there's a race in him, but the handbrake, I'd say they were trying to find out today, would it stay on the flat? We'll pick up a race with that, I'd say, over either on the goo or else on the turf. Spoof done the bizzo at a great little price of finished up 5-1. I think it went out to 6-1 earlier. But I was saying last night it won 3 in a row before. When a sprinter is in form, an old timer told me that a long time ago. There was a sprinter that I used to follow decades ago. Ramblin' River was the name of it. It used to run nearly every day of the week, and it used to be placed or winning. I think it was the woman trainer at the time. That only sprung to my mind there now. But we'll see where that goes. It was up £4 for today. We'll see where it goes again. We might sneak another win out of that. And then Shauna May needed another 100 yards. And I thought the way the races was going earlier, being drawn in 19 or 17, wherever it was drawn, that it might suit. But probably if it was drawn low and come round the turn, similar to her run the last day, it would have been closer to the pace when she picked up. Probably need an extra furlong, well, an extra 100 yards today. To the pity, because there was a man that just hopped on the bus there, John Hannigan. He was saying help. He was pushing a wheelbarrow and a big help sign on it. So he let it run. He would 3 up in a lucky 15. Would he cash out for, what, 234 or 222 or something? Or let it run for 900 odd. So it's a pity for his sake that it didn't come up. When I mentioned the newcomers on the bus, B. Crypt was on the other day, John Larissay, John Mulhern, Ryan McElwee from Strabane, Kev Hill, Leon Masters, Brendan Fahey, Moss Murphy, Gerard Culhane, David Garrity, in the recent, while Alex Newell and John Hannigan hopped on. So you're all very welcome, and thanks for taking the time to jot down a comment. If I missed anyone at the weekend there, it was hectic with all that went on. Just leave another comment at some point and I will give you a shout out. Appreciate the support. Well, we are doing a bit of housekeeping this time of the month, into the first few days. I always give money to, and I'll be doing it tomorrow. I got a good few pound during the month, and there's a man, he told me not to mention it, but he sends money every second month on bets that he does. But I'll ask him again, can I give him his, can I give the shout out to him? So I didn't get any Grand National sweep for the local branch of Roscommon MS this year. I normally do the last few years, and €20 a horse, 40 horses, and we give out 200 and 100. But I was so busy this year I didn't get it organised because I do the live draws and everything. So I'm going to give them 300 tomorrow, and 50 for the Irish Jockeys, Injured Jockeys Fund. And I was in a place lately, and there was a woman there, and her daughter has spina bifida, and I know her a long time, so I said to pick a charity of her choice, and she did, and I got a lovely letter there yesterday from Audrey in the Hub Community Cafe in Strokestown. So I gave 50 quid to that, so she picked it. So you're generating that money by listening to the ads, and that's why we're trying to help out as many people as we can. So I appreciate it. Thanks very much. On to tomorrow. So I found it hard tomorrow with the ground not going right and different and changing and whatever. But I had a horse marked out the last 8 ran in this race at Redcar tomorrow, Ribal. But in the meantime, I've heard that the Roaring Legend has improved immensely for being gelded. And with a yard that's on fire, James Ferguson, it opened up 11-4 there earlier. I think it is into 11-8, 5-4. But the horse that we could have a bet on, anyone that it's a bit gone, that's too short for me. But I was saying, will I leave this or will I not? But it's his first run this year, isn't it? He was second to that. He was second to Yanis. That was in the maiden. That was in Newcastle, and that ran second. A pretty decent race today, that Yanis. But Ribal is fit enough as well. And ran pretty well the last day. It was in Doncaster, and I think it was a second to a sort of an above average horse of Amor Racing called Maxi King, and they pulled nicely away from the rest of the field. It seemed to be a decent enough maiden, this.
Up there is Paddy the Squire in the white starred cap, travelling well Roost, the red and white colours. On the inside, Camerate angling for a run. Carlton getting closer, so too Seahouse in the light green jacket. Maxi King coming there as well on the bridle, purple colours. Cosmic Soul on the outside being driven, and from the back near side, Astrodome is picking up quite stylishly with a quarter of a mile left to go, though. It's Ribal the leader, but Maxi King is cruising on the outside here. Ribal and Maxi King are kicking clear 2 lengths over Astrodome, who continues to run on. Roost is back in 4th place. Carlton is leaving it very late, having run very green. They're inside the final furlong. Maxi King pulling out a bit more here for Kevin Stott. And experience counts today. Maxi King loves the conditions, as it turns out, and wins for Ammo Race.
This was 5-1 Ribal earlier on. I was saying we could back that each way, and I was looking at it with where are we here? Without the favourite, it's 9-4. So that's what I'd picked out. I was going to throw it out with the watching, and then I says no, I'll stick with it. But you can do either. You can back it each way, because I'll probably go to 5-1 again tomorrow, and back it at 9-4 without the Fav. There's a race at Ayr for the men and women with the, what do you call the tweed skirts? Can't even think of that. Kilt. I always say that 7 furlong to win 7 furlong race is sort of a specialist race. There's a lot of horses that can't win at 6 or a mile, but they can win at 7. Judgement Call, course and distance winner, but it won on good ground last year off 58. Then it won in Carlisle off 67. Finished the year off in Musselburgh, second to Muntadab. And the last day then, they ran it at a mile, the 8th of April. And he went out in front. And if this was a mile.
Staying on. Here comes Fly Like an Eagle. Show me the money. Hey, there's plenty of chances. A furlong left to run. Tommy G, the old timer, now being passed by Fly Like an Eagle. Tommy G fights back on the far side, but it's Fly Like an Eagle who is coming home to win it. Fly Like an Eagle for Lucinda Russell wins in second place. That was Tommy G. And then staying on from a long way back in third place, we had our Dickey.
That was him that finished fourth. I should have showed it. But he went out in front. He led the whole way up the stretch. He just got tired first run of the year, and also the fact that it was a mile. And Joe Fanning is on it tomorrow. Classial hasn't ran this year. Rogue Force has changed trainers. And I thought if that go out in front and Joe could get the fractions right, that it was 7-2 earlier, so there's money for it. But it'll be, we'll see in the morning after 8 o'clock when the markets form the, when it's the right market, we'll say. There's 2 races at 2 miles 6. I always look at the staying races. The favourite there is Mount Jules. Harry Fry hasn't run on the flat and has won a few races over hurls for him since he came from John Norton, is it? Now he could be thrown in because he's won 14 over hurdles there. Take 40 of that would be 74, and he is, I think he's 60, is it? 57. But Got Bright. Oisin Murphy up tomorrow. This is a fine old big horse. He used to be in France. This is in, finished 3rd in France.
Royale, but the other ones all tracking comfortably enough. On the outside, Kjaergrist. On the inside, Kulchope. Kulchope being followed by Plus Grand Ears. The first have just been east the way, cutting the corner on the inside, Plus Grand Ear. Shouldn't think that'll help too much as Pouvoir Royal forges down the home straight. Yellow jacket of Kulchope, but Pouvoir Royal has now gone clear. Into second position comes Kjaergrist. On the near side, Got Bright, but it's Pouvoir Royal who's leading them home very comfortably indeed. Kjaergrist towards the far side got second.
That was at a mile 1. And there was a 1-3 favourite in it. Then he went to Paul Nolan. Ran a couple of times on the over hurls. Moved to the present yard then. Was rated 85. He's down now to 62. So he's down stolen £10. But this was in at the distance of tomorrow's race in Southall. He's on the far rail.
Back towards the straight and under 3 furlongs to go. Bassinet is joined by Billy Bathgate, who moves well in the light blue. To the outside and driven along now Wardcastle. Haven Lady in the yellow and blue colours switches inside Billy Bathgate to come with a run. Smoky Malone is the grey horse down the wide outside and then over to the inner Got Bright. Bassinet, Billy Bathgate, Haven Lady, Wardcastle and Smoky Malone as they race down towards the final furlong. Bassinet is holding them at the moment. Haven Lady won't go away. Here's Smoky Malone down the outside and further back then to Got Bright, and now the action develops down the centre as Bassinet gives way, and it's Smoky Malone and Haven Lady going for the line together. Smoky Malone gets there from Haven Lady inside.
He was closing there fairly well, and he done that similarly in a couple of races there. It looks like to me that he's down in grade in a class 6. Oisin Murphy up for the first time. He's 3rd favourite. I thought he was worth a bet tomorrow. He Strikon won on the Goo the last day for Jack Channon. And then in the last race, I seen this lad picked out last night. I seen Mark with a C. Put it up today. Stable information that Sugar Candie was the one tomorrow. Who's riding it? Oisin Murphy. has only ran once on the grass, or the turf as some people might call it. He had 3 runs, 18 to 1, 40 to 1 and 200 to 1, got a rating of 50, and he ran in Brighton last June, a mile and a half. Sugar Candie. He's last at this
being
point.
asked a few questions by Marco Gianni as Executive Paul leads them towards the centre of the course with a handy lead and is running on strongly. Executive Paul by 2.5 lengths. On the right, Debergila. Hell of a Heart is right there too, chasing. Then Miss Metropolitan, Thunder Road and For Love of Louise. But Executive Paul is keeping up the gallop, just drifting across now towards the stand side under a right-hand drive. On the far side, Hell of a Heart and Sugar Candie, the very stoutly bred Sugar Candie, is beginning to stay on very belatedly. It's still Executive Paul, been out in front a long time. Sugar Candie is making fine, generous late gains, but the post is coming. Executive Paul, Sugar Candie, oh, just missed. Executive Paul from...
He went up, that was over 50. He went up £3 for that. Hughie Morrison has a few winners lately. He's in the last 14 days, 4 for 17, nearly 24%. But he had a run in Wolverhampton the last day. Not too busy on it. Tomorrow could be the day. Oisin, you never know, would he ever have a double the last 2 races? Even if he got one of them for us. But he's 100 to 30 there. And when that man put up stable information, it's a good sign as well. So hopefully, one horse in Ireland tomorrow. It's hard to know what's going on here because Lovely Reaction is the favourite, but he's only a reserve. And is he going to run or is he not? Is the question. JP doesn't have another one in it to take out. But this is 3 mile tomorrow, but he has never ran that distance. Now, could be bred for it all right, but he won over 2 miles before. Furthest he went, he was pulled up at West Breeze. We were on West Breeze that day, actually, in February. But the ground is good tomorrow. And there's a horse that I was sort of waiting for good ground. Rebellious Gale. By Califat out of a presenting mare. It's 8s into 7s. But the only time it ran on good ground was the 26th of May last year. 2 miles 6. It won handy enough, beating Galileo. Went up £7 for that to 101, but it has ran in a couple of good races since. We noticed it behind Jungle Pros a couple of times. Like went to second to Jungle Pros over 3 mile on ground that was unsuitable. That was over 101. So it went up £4 for that. Went up another couple of pounds behind Old Soul, Corbett's Cross, Dr. Val. That was another good run. It was 4th when the ground was yielding. It fell then. It was 5th the last day, but 2.5 miles, but it needs further. So it won at 2.6. 3 miles might be what it wants on good ground. So I thought if that would be an each way bet, tomorrow. But wait to find out what's the story with Lovely Reaction, because otherwise there'll be a hefty Rule 4, because that's why they're doing that. Is they're putting up their shorter, like 7 to 4, and you take, that'll be 25 pence in the pound then probably. So that's what it is now. Anyway, I'm rattling on a good bit. Bash the Bookies over and out.